Long time no see. Closer to the light. Long time no see. I wanted to share some things that I thought were important when you come to Korea, whether you're gonna be living here, staying here, like a vacation or something. I find these things really important, and I wish I knew about them before I came, because it would have made things a little bit easier. So, I made a list. Yee. I made a list. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about is your T-Money card or your transit card. They come in a bunch of different forms. This one is the one I have. Of course, it has Jimin on it. You can get them with a bunch of, you can get them with like little characters or K-pop idols or anything like that. Or you can just have one, and my friend has one that just says T-Money on it, because that's what they're called, is T-Money cards. See right here? This is T-Money. But you do need these for the bus, the trains, taxis, you can pay with these, and subways. So you can get these at convenience stores like There's Nice to See You, GS25, 7-Eleven. You can get them at E-Marts. I think you can get them at Home Plus. They're usually right by the cashier. You just say like, I need a T-Money card, or, and if they're behind the cashier, but usually they're right in front. You can just say like, I need a T-Money card. But you cannot put money on them at like a convenience store, Pionicho, or anything like that. You have to do it at a bus station, not a bus stop, a bus station, a train station, or a subway station, because there's a certain way to do it. So with T-Money cards, you put it this side up into this machine right here, and they usually have like different languages that you can pick from, and you just click the amount of money that you want to put in. You can't use card to put money on this. You have to use actual cash. But besides that, super easy, really convenient, just to be like scan. They have little machines in buses, and like to get on the subway, get off subway, trains, and so on and so forth. They scan this QR code, and it just takes the money off. Easy peasy. Okay, now we're gonna talk about some apps, and I'm gonna scoot over a little bit so that you can see what I'm looking at as I'm doing it. Let's see, what app do we want to start with? First one I would say is WeatherBug. So click the app, and I use this one specifically because it's super accurate, I would say, as opposed to like just Apple Weather or whatever weather you have just directly in your phone. I feel like this one's the most accurate, and you can do the weather like now, hourly, 10-day, and you can even look at maps, because Korea does have some pretty crazy storms. And it is currently monsoon season, so it's nice to know where the storms are coming from. So there is a map and a satellite map, and it shows you like where lightning strikes are and everything. And there's a little button on the side that looks like an alert button, because that's what it is. And it's for alerts. So I just find that one really helpful, really accurate. Next, we're gonna look at Naver. This is what the icon looks like in your app store, and when you do this one, you just type in where you want to go. You can move it on the map and then hit to or from wherever you're going, and it will show you subways, buses, how long it'll drive there, how long to walk there, how long to bike there, because bicycles are a big thing here. And it's in English, which is really helpful. I know some things, like you can see, they're in Korean here, but I find it the most helpful for a native English speaker, because as I'm going to show you, Xoxo map, which is the next one I want to show you, is mostly Korean, which, you know, you're in Korea, duh, but it's just a little harder to use in my opinion. But when you go on Xoxo map, this is the icon, and they have, you go in it and you can scroll and click what you need to find, or you can search a specific place, and it's really nice, and it gives you a lot of options. And if you don't like know where to eat or something, you can just go on Xoxo map, scroll, click, oh, I want to eat there, go. So that's pretty cool. And you can, so the bus you're going on, they have numbers. Like town buses are just like long time buses, I don't know what those are called, express terminal buses. You can type in what bus number you're using, and it will tell you like where it is and where it's going and the next stops. But it is in Korean, so if you can't read Korean, that one might not be so helpful. And I think the last app I want to talk to you about is Xoxo Taxi. Everything is Xoxo here. This is what the icon looks like, and then when you click on it, you'll probably get an ad, but you can click where you want to go. I just hit Cheonggyeonggi, and then you can go in and out, depending on where you want to go, and you can drag it to your location that you want to be dropped off at, and then you hit your starting point, and then it'll tell you prices for like a taxi, a bus, a train, renting a car, stuff like that. Very helpful. Okay, next thing I want to talk to you about is your passport and insurance card. Depending on if you're planning to stay here or just planning to visit, depends on your insurance coverage. So the first thing you need to do is call your insurance company and make sure that you are covered for emergencies, because you never know what can happen. You want to be sure about that, because I was not prepared for that. So I want you guys to be prepared. And your passport, you always need to carry around some form of ID. Like if you're just visiting, I think your license or your state ID is fine, but your passport is ideal. I would just carry it everywhere. Like, keep it on your person. There's been so many times where I needed my passport in order to do something, if that was like going to the doctor, or if you need to buy a lighter, you have to show them your ID. Because you have to be a certain age to buy a lighter here. Yeah, so just always have your passport. And if you're staying here, I think it's for all visas, but I know specifically for school visas and work visas, you have to get your ARC card. This is what it looks like. That is an alien registration card, because you are coming to Korea, you are a foreigner, you need your registration card. And that is basically your social security number, like equivalent to your social security number. So with my visa, I did get one. I did get an ARC, and most of the time with your ARC, you can apply for insurance right when you buy your ARC, which is really helpful. You just have to go to your local immigration office, and there are specific immigration offices, just depending on what province or district you live in. Even if you're in Seoul, there's like 3 different Seoul offices you have to go to depending on which district of Seoul you're in. So a quick Google search will be really helpful. Another one is you should know where your nearest shelter is, your nearest emergency place to evacuate is, and you should have an emergency, like, that sounds scary, like a little kit maybe that you just have ready at all times, because as I said, Korea, it is monsoon season, but Korea also does experience typhoons and hurricanes, which I really don't know the difference. I have a feeling they're the same thing, just different words, but I could be completely wrong. So they do have typhoons and hurricanes. They do have earthquakes, and as I said, it's monsoon season. So lots and lots and lots and lots of heavy rain, and most of Korea is hilly and mountainy and very not flat. So it's very important to have a plan in place when you're here to know, like, this is where I go for shelter, this is where I go, like, for an emergency if your accommodation floods or something, and like, this is who I call. Things like that are very important to know. Most I want to say subway stations, I think, are okay for shelters. They do say shelter on them. I don't know if they're still used as shelters, but I know they used to be. So, but every medical facility typically has a shelter in it, and like marts usually have shelters in them, from the ones that I have been to and have my emergency plan in place for. But yes, it's just very important to know, because Korea's weather is not, it's predictable, but also you can't predict a typhoon. You can predict a hurricane, and it's kind of like tornadoes in that sense. Like, you can say, like, this may or may not happen, but be ready, if you're from the Midwest, you know what I mean. Another thing, always have an umbrella and a poncho. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten my backpack completely ruined. Literally, look at this. This, the one is my homework, but this is my textbook. Do you see this? Yeah, because it was storming and I didn't have the proper cover on a backpack. I didn't have my umbrella. The backpack I was using was fabric. So my textbook got ruined, and my notebook that I was using at the time got completely ruined with all my notes. So just be extra cautious about that. Thing I would say to prepare for is just know the basics, maybe. Like, I feel like that would be really helpful to, like, sorry, I just showered and my bangs are not banging. And my hair is very flat, so I kind of look like I have a flat head because my hair is wet. Anyway, that was beside the point. Oh my god, what was I saying? Oh, know the basics. Like, how do you say hello and goodbye? And, like, can I have something, please? Like water or pop or beer or whatever you're ordering. Like, learn how to say, like, can I have this, please? A good one to know is, where's the bathroom? Or restroom. Where's the restroom? How much is this? Do you take card? That's a good one to know. Just basics. You don't, like, if you're just visiting, you obviously don't need to be fluent. It'd probably be extremely helpful if you were, but it's not completely necessary. Just like if you're traveling over to Europe, you don't need to be fluent in English, Just knowing the basics will be really helpful for you. I started maybe not use a textbook. Somebody who is a Korean language student who relies on textbook, textbook Korean and day-to-day Korean are very different. For example, like saying thank you. There's obviously many ways to say thank you, like formally, casually, stuff like that. But in textbook Korean, it is 감사합니다. That's not how you say it. You say 감사합니다. You know? So it's just, I would maybe look on YouTube, do something like that. Just getting the basics would be very helpful. And I hope this helped a little bit. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!